Hey, this is Dave Pagnotta, and you're listening to Missin Curfew.
What's Missin Curfew? It's when you kind of play guilty, but you show up.
How nice is a green light on the road, though? No practice tomorrow, no plane, just go.
Scotty Upshaw in the clear, and he scores! Right in front, scores!
A few laughs, a little bit of fun, and obviously a lot of hockey talk.
You're listening to Missin Curfew.
Fellas, coming to you from Hall Pass Media in Newport Beach, this is Missin Curfew. And before the boys start snapping around crispy rice, spicy tuna, this show is always presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Obes, the up dog, and our boy Richie Falla is back. God, that's a nice looking garage, eh? With like a little memorabilia everywhere. And there's your beautiful wife. Hey, Jess, how are you, sweetie? Welcome back, Rich. Listen, buddy, haven't talked to you since the pro tourney. First of all, thanks for taking the time. I always knew you were a team guy, right? Good Belleville boy, won a cup with the Kings, been my boy forever. But sitting down there after stumbling in on the back nine there in the windstorm, I appreciate you taking the time. You had a little windburn there. You had a little windburn on the nose there, fella.
Oh, boy, that was a long day there, boy. Oh, but a good time was had. Yeah, I probably should have deferred that and just let Panger do the whole show, but we had a lot of fun, and it was good to hang out with all the guys. I was sitting with Uppy and talking stories with Brett Hull and JR was pretty cool for me, and listen to Brad May talk about fighting, and we just had a lot of great little round circles, and it was a great week.
Richie, when you gave the beer to Pavelski, you know what? I'm going to give my little Baplou to Pavelski. What a guy. What a guy. What a pro. Good stick, play his stick, tips everything in, good hands around the green. What a guy.
Not a beautiful swing, but what I do notice is he takes her outside. He doesn't let her get inside. When he takes her back, he takes her out. He doesn't get caught. Because once you get here, as I know, once you get inside, you're fucked, eh?
Once you get here, it's tough getting back.
That's only in the bedroom is inside good. Once you fucking get in here, you're not, there's no...
Once she starts leaving, boys, she's not coming back.
She's not coming back. She's not coming back. But great guy. I've been texting with him a little bit just because you boys have been teeing it with him. But Richie, first of all, our listeners loved it, bud. It was just you being a beauty, being as honest, and you're heartbroken over your round, and you got to take a piss, and you got to drink. It's like what Missin Curfew is all about. But the greatest part is when I text you about it, because I'm like, do you want to come on? You're like, yeah, I'll jump on. I'm like, listen, why don't you play in the morning? If you're too pinned, you don't have to come on, and don't worry about it. Like, no, you're like, no, I'm coming on either way. And then you sat down and you were just as pinned as I thought you were going to be. Like, you didn't let me down one bit. I'm like, he's going to be just as pinned as I thought he was.
Well, and that was after the first round too. And I had it going so good on the front. I had 21 points on the front, and I was feeling good. And then all of a sudden, golf, all of a sudden, I'm like, how did I just double bogey 3 holes in the back? So I was, then I started drinking because I was pissed, and it spiraled on me a little bit, eh? It was like some of your nights at the Roxy back in the day. All just kind of got out of hand.
They can get away on you. You're like, it's not really 4 a.m., is it? How did this happen here? I fucking showed up here at 1:30. The best was you're like, on the front nine, I'm Googling Monday qualifiers in the PGA Tour. And then on the back nine, I was not coming. There was a picture they put on the pro invitational or whatever. You're up in the goddamn mountain. You're up like 3/4 of the way up the mountain, hacking it out. And I'm like, that's a good Belleville boy there. He's going to try to make bogey here at least.
I made 5 on the par 5 there. I got a 5.
Good effort.
That was a hell of a 5.
I tell you what, that next day, though, I don't know if it was how juiced up we were from the first round, but the next day, boys, there was a 3-hour wind delay. And wind delay uprooted about 25 those royal palms, like royal palm trees, the big fuckers.
Oh, yeah.
These things were laid down flat in the earth, pulled up by the roots, Richie.
It was crazy.
It was lift clean in place that day. You were hitting shots over these fucking trees that have been there for 100 years. The winds were crazy. To see one of those puppies go down if you're sitting in your back porch,
you're like, what the hell? Yeah, I know. That was wild.
They could kill you. Fuck, that thing falls on you. Good night. Damn near. Hopefully your dog's not out taking a piss or something.
Or you taking a piss.
Or better yet, me out in the windstorm taking a piss. They pissed all over yourself
in the bush. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I was out there a couple days after you. I took a couple pisses at night out in the desert with the stars. It was beautiful. Sorry, Garbs, I'm in your backyard. Hey, listen, Richie, before we get going here, Updog's making a chase for the FedEx Cup on the Pro Tour. I don't know,
boys.
Charles Schwab on the Senior Tour. Chase for the Charles Schwab.
The CME Open on the Ladies Tour, yeah.
You're going to take a little break, You're going to go a little rest as a weapon here the next couple?
Well, yeah, I got some other stuff on the schedule, but I didn't practice going into that event, so I'm like, my game was not where I wanted it to be, and so I try to drink through it, but you're real Leahy, but it worked out. No, I need a couple tournaments off to reset the mechanism here, but we'll see what happens here.
Rest is a weapon, fella. You're an absolute beauty. I'll tell you what, that Palm Desert's nice though, eh? Indian Wells, nice area.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Did you guys make her to the nest or no?
Oh, yeah.
Might have a couple nights. Yeah.
Oh, we had a dinner at the Nest there one night.
Yeah.
And then, by the way,
Beautiful
Red
dinner.
Barn, which you told us about.
Yeah.
Great establishment.
I heard.
I mean, I'm talking classy. It's got a little speakeasy vibe to it.
Yeah.
Owners were cool. This older guy and his good-looking wife. They were, what do you guys need? Whatever. It was me.
What do you got?
Yeah. It was Holly.
Hey, what do you need?
What do you got? And we were just in there for pints, and a bunch of the baseball guys showed up. That's what's really cool about the event is, when you leave there, you go back to the hotel lobby and stuff, and you see who the real athletes are.
Yeah.
Who the guys still want to have one more pint and tell one more story.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
All the hockey guys there.
The hockey guys we don't slate.
I saw one clip out of there, Richie. It was a baseball guy. He's like, we better hurry up and get in there before the hockey guys drink all the booze. I was like, way to represent, fellas. Hey, way to represent there. And then Holly and Ronick were like, well, maybe they beat us, but they fucking sure didn't drink as much as us.
That's the truth.
I say that every member guest I lose in. I'm like, well, boys, hey, Rich at Pine Canyon, the friendly confines. I'm like, Richie, sorry, buddy, we didn't win her, but no one drank more than us.
No one.
Yeah, so it's a great tour. I'm glad you boys are doing well. Sticking with golf here, Richie, a fella, as you know, Big Canyon's going through a full redo. Andrew Green, keep working, boys. Bulldozers out there every day. Keep her coming. So I went and played Arroyo Trabuco last week on the Friday. And any of the fellas out there that are coming down this way on a golf trip, this is a good public track, up dog. And they got a great rule there. Whatever you fire, and you guys are sticks, so whatever you shoot, 71, your first pint, 71 cents.
Oh, cents.
So
I was actually like
Oh,
that.
you're talking about dollar.
No, I read that. I question marked it and said, fuck.
71
Why if you shoot 100? You
So-
gotta throw a fucking Benjamin down for your first
at
pint.
$1.
Yeah, that's a cent.
So I fired a nice Smoothie Douglas 82, back jammed up on me. Fuck. Good thing I had something in the bag there to loosen her up. But so 82 cents for my first pint. That's
It's your first post-round pint because you're drinking.
What'd you
first
shoot?
on the course?
82. They say, here's your blue light, 82 cents.
That's a great. That gets the people going inside. That's how you get a good clubhouse.
I'll tell you what, and this is, we are very blessed to be at Big Canyon Country Club. I got a lot of great friends. It's a great spot, but like the boys hanging out at Arroyo Trabuco, you could have that feel of like back home at like Dalewood or,
Fort Mac Golf Club.
yeah, Trillium Wood or whatever. Like these boys are just in there, trying to get pinned.
I think it's a great promotion.
Yeah.
Come in and drink. Don't go home yet, and drive responsibly.
Yeah.
I think it's great.
Love it.
Good idea though, right? Like whatever you shoot is your first pint. That's a good idea.
Yeah, and plus, like whoever wants to rush out of there anyways to go home to like the kids and the wife, you got to have a beer.
Yeah, it's also smart because you're gonna come in, then you're gonna get a pound of wings, and you're gonna start eating.
Well, you won't get a pound of wings, but the rest of us will. Rich, you want to? No, I'll just suck on the celery stick here, fella.
How are the wings here? Are they good or?
So, Rich, you're thinking big picture. You think you give the boys a beer. Next thing you know, there's 2 pounds of chicken wings on the table with some ranch.
100% there is. Then you get another beer.
Yeah.
Come
I
on.
love that. Maybe mix the ranch and the beer, dip the fucking wing in there. Just
There you go.
Time.
It's a great spot. It's a good track. It has a little Shady Canyon feel to it, like that kind of layout. But if you're looking for public golf down here, boys, Arroyo Trabuco, where their head pro is Michael Block. Remember the guy who had the hole in one at the PGA and fucking had his. I think he still is kind of famous, but that one year he was famous.
He gets in all. I'd say he probably plays in 5 events a year, just as a sponsor's exemption.
Yeah.
Just because of how that PGA Championship where he hit that hole in one with Rory on 17 or whatever. Oak Hill, another Andrew Green golf.
Yeah,
that was like out of a movie. That was fucking crazy
I know.
because he was fucking falling apart because he was.
Boy, I was watching. He shanked one a couple holes earlier. Like
in the hunt, and of course,
Dead
any
shank.
human being, no matter if you're a PGA professional or not, going down the stretch with Rory and you're top 10 coming into the final round, you're gonna fucking start slashing it.
Your sphincter's going to tighten up a bit.
But to get a hole in one,
You get a little quick.
yeah.
We get a little quick.
A little quick at the top there, fella. Slow her down. A little quick at the top.
And speaking of hole in ones,
Oh, I'm going to save that for Get This Guy Labatt Blue.
oh nice.
Although he doesn't drink anymore, but
Oh, he doesn't.
no, he's full sober.
Oh well, fuck.
But
He
yeah.
can have one anyways. I'm sure he did.
Yeah, I guess we could do it right now. Our boy Casey DeVree. I hope I don't
Dury.
fuck that up. Casey DeVree. I should know that, buddy. Our good buddy at TaylorMade. Guy's a stick. He's never had a hole in one. So he's a member at La Costa there, which is a beautiful golf course. They just redid it hard. Greens that kind of roll down. Like if you miss there, it's your short game's got to be good.
I'm actually shocked. Our Casey from TaylorMade, he's been there forever.
Yeah.
Designs epic head covers, does all their partnerships, has hooked tons of the hockey guys up with clubs and sticks and balls. Thank you. To not get a hole in one till now is pretty impressive. I mean, it's almost as impressive as you getting one in an Ironer Club. Fucking
Yeah.
40th birthday.
That
picture back there.
That was, by the way, I've still never got a hole in one where I've actually hit a shot. Like this was just all the Irish, it was the Irish gods.
Or Irish luck.
And Old Mo says, laddie, you hit her at the left side of the green, laddie, and you let the wind take her over. And that's all I really did. And the fucking wind took it. But, Eric Lobby doesn't have a hole in one yet, which is crazy. The guy's an absolute stick. But yeah, shout out to our boy Casey, 175. I said, what'd you hit, 7-iron? He said, I hit a little squeeze 6-iron. I said, oh, a Smoothie Douglas 6. Bounced right in front and went in the hole. So, Case, good on you, fella. Yeah, I was shocked that it was his first one, too.
That's amazing. I probably continue the golf just here for a sec. Sure, I had a great weekend. And shout out to just on the hole in ones. Played golf with Elway. I got him again. This is the second time in as many rounds. Johnny's story about
How you not get invited back?
No, I know, but he has 7 hole in ones, which is impressive. Jersey number, I think he got 2 last year. That's impressive. 7, and the guy's a stick.
Yeah. Guy's an athlete, bro.
And one thing he is like, that's when you know your club distances. Hole in ones are all about you're giving yourself a chance if you know how fucking far you hit your clubs. I think that's a good way to judge if a guy's getting a lot of hole in ones. It's not just luck, but you know your club distance. Because if you don't know your club distance, dude, you're not even going to come close to a hole in one.
Well, I know my club distances. Now, the question if I'm going to square it up or not.
Yeah, that's
now,
on you.
I always play my distance. For that I'm going to not hit it exactly great, right? So, like, let's say I got a 175er. I'm going to say she's about a 180 shot because I'm probably not going to clip it perfect. You know what I mean? I'm taking in a little chunky poo or a little thin or a little bladey. You know what I mean? There you go, fucking, you still got stuck on it.
That'd be a nice way to play.
Yeah, exactly. So feel sorry for me instead of bagging on me all the time, Braxton.
Hey, so just back to it. I had a great weekend. I went in and Christina and I went and hung with our friends Jesse and his beautiful wife Danielle Vanderwerf, and they did an event at the Horse Stadium in Palm Springs. Beautiful place. I'm deathly allergic, so I kept my distance. But it was a Make-A-Wish from Edmonton, so there's a ton of good Canadians there. Shout out to the Canadians. And this little guy, Jacob, who's no longer with us, but has an incredible story, has been friends with Jesse and Danielle forever. So it was for a great cause. And then our boy, big fan of the pod, has been on it, Brett Kissel, got up, played 5 songs. He's an absolute pro. What a legend. He's got a great story of spending 30 hours in the airport to get to the final in Milan and filmed his whole way through. It's 3 airports, fucking
delay, we say.
He missed the first period, fellas. He missed the first period. But ended up catching the second, third, and OT, and then after has just an incredible story of just being with all the Team Canada guys, meeting a lot of them for the first time, but hung out and played tunes for them at the Canadian House, and just kind of picked up, what was probably a really sort of on edge, evening for the guys. The guys probably crying, families crying. Well, he got up and played tunes, played a lot of Canadian covers. He said the Blue Rodeos and some hip and some good country, and got the boys going. So I thought that was a great feel-good story for our boy Brett Kiss.
Fuck, I was pissed that I had to get up at 5 a.m. and they lost. Imagine flying all the way to Milan and losing.
All night.
Yeah. That would maybe really chap you. This is another thing I didn't realize, and I should have because I went to it in Vancouver. I didn't even think about the Canadian House. Had we went over there, we could have really abused the Canadian House. Like, we could have just showed up there, right? And been like, knocked on the door and been like,
I'm from Canada.
Oh, is Coop here? Yeah. Hey, we're looking for Coop. You see Getsy anywhere? I completely forgot about the Canada House over there.
Canada House.
Had we gone, I would have really probably just poked my head in the Canada House every day.
Yeah, we would have found our way in.
We would have found our way in there. Yeah. Brett, listen, one thing I love about Brett Kissel is he's not afraid to just pull that. It's like Starsky and Hutch when he brings the guitar out. He's like, hey, bring this out to me. Like he'll bring it out. He'll play in front of 15,000 people. He'll play in front of 5 people. He likes to drum it.
Very talented guy, and I'm going to throw this out. There's no better guy on the planet than Brett Kissel.
In the whole world?
He's a good fucking. He is a good human.
That's a statement.
That's a
fan, but that is a fucking statement.
He's a solid dude.
Best dude on the planet.
He's one of the fucking most just genuine guys. Loves the game, loves music, and is just
loves the Oilers.
Fucking loves the Oilers.
So he's used.
Great guy.
He's used to losing quite just like McDavid. Hey, 2 fucking step cup finals, he loses. Goes there, made him. Hey, Brett, fella, stay away from the goddamn rink, maybe, fella.
Is he from Edmonton or where's he from?
He's from just outside St. Paul, a little farm town. And then just one more thing, he just hit his "Let the Horses Run," which is a great tune. It's both my kids, one of their favorite songs. It's on my Spotify all the time. Just hit gold record. So shout out to him for that. That's
so next round on you, Kiss, fella. Next round on you with the gold record, fella. We haven't quite hit gold level here at Missin Curfew just yet. We haven't got our gold. We haven't got our gold album just yet, Rich. But hey, we keep working there.
They're working.
Up Dog at Madison Club, what a spot. I mean, if you can't chip around there, it's just perfect lies. So I'm glad you had a good weekend. Speaking of unbelievable human beings, our boy John Cooper. We're still thinking about you, buddy. Obviously lost his dad last week, but Willie had the hat trick, or the Gordie Howe hat trick story over there in Italy, and John Cooper is such a beauty. He goes out and buys this like Italian hat somewhere in Milan and gets all the boys to sign it and give it to Willie for the first ever Gordie Howe hat trick in the Olympics. Like, if you're out there, fellas, and you just want to get a glimpse of what John Cooper is all about, that is him in a nutshell. Like, first of all, he loved the fact that Willie got a Gordie Howe. And so did I. And not only that, he went out and got like a sick Italian hat, got all the boys to sign it, and Tom Wilson will have that for the rest of his life. And Willie touched on it. I just thought, Richie, I'll start with you on that. I just thought that is John Cooper in a nutshell. And people might say, oh, it's not a big deal, Obes. To me, it's a huge deal, and that's why players and people love him.
I mean, yeah, you're talking about a great human.
Yeah.
I don't know John like you guys do, but I can think he's probably up there with one of those guys.
Yeah.
All class. You know, we're going through what he went through too. You know, I'm sure that was in the back of his mind, knowing your dad's sick and still having to coach and do all that. It's crazy.
You know where you got to get to know him? We should do this, us three going. We should go into Gaza Ranch. We should just invite ourselves and go into Gaza, because that's where you really want to get to know Coop there, right at that tree bar.
Yeah.
That's
where you want to get to know anybody.
Yeah, that's where you're going to really get to know the ins and outs of John Cooper there, because he's an absolute beauty. So, Coop, good on you, buddy. Last little thing about our intro here. Speaking of good guys and absolute beauties, obviously Maddie and Brady Tkachuk, the Wingman podcast, they came on after their bender ended. I think Chucky's officially off his bender. I don't know. He's probably still having it going. Keep it going, Chucky, fella. Keep it going. They talked about the game and how the onslaught of Canada was coming on. And Brady's like, we're yelling down the bench, Ben, don't break, fellas. Ben, don't break. And they're like, good shift. Way to get it out. Way to get it out. That a boy. Hallie, way to kick. Hallie, way to kick. And I'm watching this clip going, this is fucking exactly how it was, because they were fucking on their heels. And those two guys are honest enough to realize that the reason they won was because they found a way in because of Hellebuck. But this clip, boys, Ben, don't break. And then they're like, that's all they got, boys. That's all they got. That was their best.
Oh, here they come again.
Yeah. So just to see that was to me, once again, just they're absolute beauties. And it's a good inside look to like what was going on that USA bench, because the ice was tilted.
And we didn't get to see it much on the TV because it was very, very poor sort of content creation on everybody's part there. But to hear, and this is why we say guys like these boys, and, maybe the Hughes brothers eventually get something going, because it'd be interesting to hear what they want to talk about. 3 brothers on a podcast would be great. But the 2 brothers to give you an insight look at, that experience and probably how drunk their old man was up in the crowd again. And, what winning 3 championships in 2 years for Maddie's like from a firsthand experience is nice, because you don't really get that unless some reporter gets it out of them.
Yeah. You'll love to hear that their room was right across from the Hughes brothers, and every night they would stay up, the Hughes brothers and the Tkachuk brothers, till like midnight, 12:30 talking. And then like, I got to shut her down. And then Chucky and Brady said, you guys will love this. They had the open door policies. Like, even if we weren't there, we just left the key above our door. So at any time you could come in our room and kind of hang out or whatever. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I love it. It's great.
Richie, like that Team USA feel, like kind of had like your Kings team feel, right? Like everyone's kind of hung out with everyone. It was like, good squad.
Well, and I love the fact too, like they're talking about the dorms and like the Tkachuks never closed the door the whole weekend, right?
Yeah.
Just had an open door, come hang out. Let's, They just seem like they. But I think that's the difference too. Like these guys have played together since they were kids. The USA program.
No, I know.
I think that the love for each other and all that, especially the stuff with Johnny Gaudreau was so cool. Yeah, I mean that's a team.
And they're just great kids and honest. Don't change. Right? Brady and Matty, Chuck, you don't ever change, boys. First thing I kind of thought though, like it's a couple of 3 weeks. How do you rub one out there, like in the shower?
Also, especially if you're leaving your key on the door, you might have to pull that down put the hat over or the doorknob. Hey, the boys, I need 10 here.
Do you maybe just say, hey, I'm staying in the village and I'm not rubbing one out? But what if you can't sleep or something? You're like, I can't sleep here.
Hopefully, you got your own bathroom.
Yeah, I mean, hey, they're brothers. They're used to. They probably grew up used to it. Hey, oh yeah, I know what that. I know what that look is. He needs 10.
Yeah. I'll go. I gotta go. I'll walk down the showers. I'll leave you alone there, fella. Hey, I'll be back in 15. Enjoy yourself. I'll tell you what. If you're single though, if you're single there in the village, you don't even have to rub one out because I'm sure you just walk down to wherever.
Yeah,
knock on the door. Hey, what are you doing?
They
ran out of condoms in the first fucking 3 days.
Well, that's just the Olympics. That's standard. I think that happens.
What are they wearing condoms for?
I don't know. I know. That's why. Jesus, how'd you ever get one off?
Too many international teams there. Too many international teams. You know what?
International waters. You got to keep her safe in international waters. So, go ahead, Rich.
Yeah, I just want to. I don't know if you guys talked about this last week or you knew about this, Obus, but a good friend of kind of both of ours grew up in Cobourg, Ontario. Justin Williams' dad passed away last week. So I just want to give him some love, send him a nice text, but unexpected of his dad, Craig. So just want to give him a little love and great guy and great family.
Yeah, no, I caught wind of that last week and text Willie and, just said, keep your head up, buddy. I obviously, Justin grew up in Cobourg. I was in Port Hope and he's older than me, but I knew his dad. I knew his whole family. And so that was a tough one for Willie. So that's well said. We're thinking about Willie and his family, and our condolences go out to the whole family. So we'll be right back at Missin Curfew. Welcome back to Missin Curfew. Fellas, the Kits Eyewear Dish of the Week. It's this easy. Go to kits.com, fire your prescription, virtually try on any frame. Next thing you know, boom, knock on your door, Kits Eyewear. Fellas, promo code Curfew gets you buy one, get one free. Listen, I'm watching this game last night. Before we start rolling to KC, hold on. Could have been 9-2 Colorado. Stoley did a hell of a job up in the booth, but roll it here. This is just the Colorado Avalanche and Nathan MacKinnon in a nutshell here. Here we go. Makar to Taves to MacKinnon. He's absolutely buzzing. Backdoor tap in. That is our Kits Eyewear Dish of the Week. That is the short version of it. That clip could have went another 30 seconds of the whole. They had the whole LA Kings team in the washing machine. But, I mean, what a dish.
That's what you call the high cycle.
That is the high cycle.
It's the one where you got to get the stains out. You got to get the barbecue sauce and the ketchup stains out of there. The old high cycle, high speed. That's why I wore the hat tonight, because that goal right there is what you call turn the lights out. And boys, these guys continue to play like that. I mean, is there a team out there with those 3 guys on the ice knowing where each other, they have blindfolds on, and you can add Natchez to that thing. Those 4 guys are just buzzing.
You know what they said about
How many shifts did they have last night like that, though?
Oh,
to watch that game. Every time they had probably 6 or 8 of those shifts where they couldn't get, they were on the ice for a minute and a half.
Yeah.
Circling the wagons, we used to say.
They were circling the wagons. And another thing about Natchez is, when I noticed this last night too, but they talked about it, Jared Bednar said not only is he good in the offensive zone, he's like a human breakout in the D zone too. Like a lot of times he'll come back, they'll slide it to him, and he'll skate the puck out Makar style. So he's unbelievably offensive, but he can also just be a human breakout, like I said, Coach said.
Yeah, I watched him last year, first time live in Utah, and what I noticed is just he gets faster when he touches the puck. And that's like,
yeah, he does.
That's a a trait as an NHL player, as a hockey player. A lot of the things is hockey sense, Richie. But when you have a guy that gets faster when the puck's on his stick, that's the sign of a real hockey player to me.
Yeah, there's probably 10 guys in the league that do that, really. You know what I mean?
They just lick their chops. They're salivating from the mouth when they get the biscuit, and then see you later. They're gone.
Yeah. No, they got depth with Landy. Arturi Lehkonen got hurt in the first couple shifts too last night, so they missed him. But yeah, that's a team ready to roll. But what a dish. I mean, they were absolutely flying. Makar, drop pass, Taves, drop pass, MacKinnon around the horn, backdoor tap in. I'm like, that is our Kits Eyewear Dish of the Week. Fellas, moving on here at Missin Curfew, get that guy an ice-cold Labatt Blue. Fellas, this segment is brought to you by Labatt. Brewed for the chirps, the rivalries, and the sacred art of trash talk. Labatt, brewed for the roast. Up dog, my man, we will start with you. Who are you dishing an ice cold pristine Pilsner to?
Fella, there's no better guy in the league right now to talk about, to have a beer with, only if you're in Alberta, because his legal age of drinking is 18. Excuse me. Matthew Schaefer, fellas, 20 goals and in epic fashion. Before the trade deadline, I mean, this guy's on an absolute rocket ship right now. Arguably should have been on Team Canada, but 20 goals, most ever by an 18-year-old defenseman to date. And he is chasing down, boys. I think he's 2 goals away from Brian Leach and Barry Beck.
Becker,
who had 23 and 22 back, and we're talking in the 70s, and 88, 89 for Brian Leach, number 2. But listen, Matthew Schaefer is a stud, boys. He's doing everything right out there. We are going to go check him out with the play the Ducks tomorrow night, Obes. We're going to bring Cons and Loops. And it just so happens, this is what you're going to laugh, is Upper Deck's releasing today the new Series 2, which has his first ever rookie card. So the Young Guns is coming out. We all got Young Guns, boys. It's the rookie card you collect. But this guy's coming out today. I'm going to be bringing a few packs for the boys to bust open at the game tomorrow. Try to hit a Matthew Schaefer in the crowd. But this kid is electric, and I can't wait to see him play live. If it's as good at live as it is on TV, we're going to get our money's worth tomorrow, fella. But you got to just be pumped for the NHL to have a new, young, Cale Makar coming at him. But this kid's got it all.
Yeah, he certainly does. And, Loop sent me a text. He was watching them play, and he's like, hey, Obes, do you think we might have made a mistake leaving the Schaefer off? He's playing 25 a night, and he's almost got 20 goals. Yeah, we did. Yes. They made a mistake leaving him at home just because of his age, right? Like, I get it. He's young. You didn't want to force it. But, like, the guy's got 20 goals.
It's insane.
And he's playing 25 a night or whatever, 22 to 23 a night. He's playing against the big boys. He's playing power play. He's playing penalty kill. We should have taken him over to Milan.
And this isn't just goals, Richie, that are, these are labeled. I mean, he's shooting the puck.
100%.
They're heavy wrist shots. They're labeled top corner. They're scoring big goals at big moments. And you guys know it's one thing to get a bunch of cookies and tap-ins. And
no, I don't.
This guy's, but you saw guys do it.
Yeah, I did see.
So there was guys out there that could do it.
The Sedins.
This kid is scoring big goals, like in timely fashion. Game winners and fucking, not just power play, but he's all over the ice. And I just think it's great for hockey. It's good for this kid. And no better guy than we'd be giving, a couple of these Labatt Blue Lights, the pristine Pilsner too, fellas.
100%. And he seems like a great kid too. Mm-hmm. I was going to ask you guys this. I don't know. I don't have the stats in front of me. Is he leading if you took all the Team Canada defensemen, does he have more goals than any of those guys? He's got 12. Is Makar have 20?
Makar's got 18, I think.
So he's got the most. He leads that team in scoring.
I would believe so, yes.
Wow.
Yeah. And honestly, boys, listen, I haven't watched the Islanders play a ton. I got to be honest. I've watched him play a little bit. I obviously knew what he was doing, but I did not know that he had fucking 18 goals already.
Yeah.
Like, you can't be leaving. I don't care how old a kid is. He's got 18 snipes. You might want to bring him to the best on best.
There was a stat out there the other day that said, I think it was his goal total or it was his points, that it said he had more points or goals than the top 3 Canada defensemen at the Olympics. So you would add Taves, Makar, Parayko to that mix, and he had more points or more goals than all 3 of those guys combined at the time. So I don't know if Taves is just, he got that beautiful one that we just gave the kits to. Parayko's probably chipped in with 1 or 2 this year. I don't know, but that alone says that this kid, it was a hard X, and I'm sure the boys, the Team Canada guys thought hard and long about this kid being on the team, but that stat alone should have had him in there.
Yeah, I mean, shit. Like, you just think if you bring him over there, just the experience, and if he's the 8th guy, and then if someone like Morrissey gets hurt, all right, then it was just been a nice guy to have in the holster.
Yeah, well, when he's got 19 goals or 17 goals, whatever he had, like he's leading the rookies in the NHL in goals with 20. Beckett Seneca's got 19, and then Oliver Kapanen in Montreal's got 18, and then Schaefer's leading the charge with 20. He's got fucking 44 points. He's plus 14. Right?
This is generational stuff.
It was on the radar, and we had Getzy on, and Getzy did say, Richie, that credit to him that he even played his way onto our short list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But who's got more goals than him this year? Just maybe like Chychrun or who's
Chychrun's got 22 snipes, and then him and Werenski got 20. Like he's in the talk for the Norris even.
That's what I'm saying. Like
Like, I think Zach Werenski's going to win the Norris if the Blue Jackets get in, but there's your boy Bouchard. If Bouchard's plus 14, there you go. It's a bad stat. You know you can't trust that stat, when he's plus 14.
17 goals still, though, right? Like, I mean,
fucking look at and just fucking feather backhand saucies from McDavid and Draisaitl.
Yeah, 69 points. That's
a lot. That's a lot of points.
He could get fucking 100 points. Evan Bouchard.
Yeah,
it's crazy. You think about it's crazy, but he's gonna have to if the others want to get in.
Hey, listen, Schaefer, up dog, I'm with you. I cannot wait to watch him live. We got Connolly, the ambassador of the Islanders, coming down in the Luxury Auto Collection Sprinter van. Me, Uppy, and Loops. The blue lights are going to be flowing. Yeah, I'm pumping all our sponsors because that's what we're going to be fucking doing.
Absolutely.
I'm going to drink. I boys already bumped the podcast Thursday to 1 p.m. too, by the way. So sorry if your kid's got something going on there. But Richie, who you dishing a Pristine Pilsner to?
Oh, buddy. You know what? The LA Kings are big in my heart. So,
we know.
Matt Green on the bench now, which I love, sitting there, the big boy, running the defense. But this kid, Angus Booth, scored in his first NHL game, scored a big goal. He was all over the ice. He probably could have had a couple. But, Matt Green and Sean O'Donnell and Jared Stoll, I've all worked with him, got him in his position to get in the NHL. But it's just so cool. When you all know when you score that first goal, you remember your first game. And for that, this kid deserves a nice beer. Angus Booth, keep going, kid. You look great.
What a great goal.
What a great name, by the way.
Great goal.
Can we throw it out there? Angus?
Angus.
Sick name.
Boothy. Fucking Dumoulin comes around the net, puts a crispy rice spicy tuna on Panarin's stick. Panarin then sauces it cross ice to Kempe, and Kempe comes in and starts dropping it, backing up over, and then D to D, Dumoulin backdoor to Angus Booth there, tipping. It was an unbelievable goal.
Yeah. And a young kid going down the back door, hanging around.
What are you sniffing down there for?
With some good confidence.
What are you sniffing down there for?
Greener didn't teach him that.
Yeah. I saw Greener on the bench giving the boys, talking him up. I was like, that's where Greener belongs.
That's great. I think it's great.
And now, Rich, we all know that he likes a good Labatt Blue, ice cold Pristine Pilsner, huh?
Oh, elbow deep. You always get that elbow right down on the ice.
I'm going to touch on the Kings. We go around the National League here a little bit, but get this guy ice cold Labatt Blue. Connor McDavid, listen, fella, you deserve a 24-pack for many reasons. You've been to 2 Stanley Cup finals and lost. You just lost a gold medal. But here's another reason. 100 points for the 9th time. Only him, Gretz, and Mario the Magnificent have ever done that. Now, when I saw that and I just saw those 2 names and him, I'm like, that is unbelievable. So, Connor, I know you don't care about points. You got 1 goal in mind, but fella, get yourself an ice cold Labatt Blue. And my second, get this guy Labatt Blue. This is the other spectrum of the NHL, boys. You go from a guy who's getting 100 points to these 2 warriors, Deslauriers and Tanner Jeannot, toe-to-toe the other night in the city of brotherly love. Listen, I love what this Tanner Jeannot's doing, man. I chirped, Cam Neely and Don Sweeney when they gave him the contract. But this fight, toe-to-toe, Jeannot gets the better of him. But both you guys, get yourself an ice-cold Labatt Blue. Up, dog. What a fucking tilt this was.
This one broke the internet for me, boys, on the weekend. This is 2 heavyweights. I had to stop and show the boys. I said, this is fucking hockey.
Yeah.
This is hockey. These are 2 boys that, and they showed them on the red line in warm-ups, Richie, which is old school. 2 guys just looking at each other going, hey, tonight's the night. First shift out there, we're meeting at center ice. We're getting everyone on their feet, and we're going to fucking throw bombs. And that's exactly what this was. And man, Tanner Jeannot, I think, got the best.
Oh, yeah.
He got the best of them.
Oh,
he fucking hit him with a couple at the end that are lethal.
Yeah, he did.
I got to give Deslauriers credit. He gets hit with 2 or 3 bombs at the end, and he just eats them, Rich.
Yeah. Oh, he did. And there's just not too many of those guys really left you can consider, I guess, a heavyweight. So when they do square off, you're like, holy shit.
Oh, be punching the arm.
Stuff to me.
Punching, like Jeannot is punching his the left hole.
He's pushing his arm down, right, with the punch?
Yeah, he fucking punched his elbow down a couple times and then fucking fed him with another right at the end. It's fighting to a T on the ice.
Oh, he's a good old Saskatchewan boy.
Yeah.
And he throws
heavy.
He throws to go through you. Like, he throws fucking, and I got to give Deslauriers credit, like I said. I mean, those two at the end that hit him, he ate him, and Deslauriers doesn't play as big as role as, but Tanner Jeannot is a huge part of the Boston Bruins, man. And it's great to see.
Yeah, you just gotta love the two guys looking at each other. 44 and 84. Let's go.
Let's go, fellas. So, boys, get yourself an ice cold Labatt Blue. Always drink responsibly. Fellas, moving on here. It is a luxury auto collection. Oof, oof. Dog of the week. Fellas, let's talk about traveling like a proper beauty. Big love to Luxury Auto Collection Aero. You already know that Luxury Auto Collection for their filthy, exotic, and luxury vans, but these guys have always been players in private aviation. Check them out at luxuryautocollection.com. The boys at LAC do it all, boys. If you want to jump on a private bird, they got you. Up against it for a business meeting, up dog. Check out Luxury Collection Aero, baby. Yeah. Jump on,
baby. Split the gas and just ride in style, fellas.
Yeah,
eh?
These guys are beauties, Rich. They can set you up with whatever you need.
They got you covered for everything. And I'll tell you what, there's nothing better than a PJ for a nice golf trip with the fellas.
Oh, I know, right?
So
don't have to worry about
they got you covered.
Don't have to worry about getting your travel bag out, zipping it up and fucking lugging it to the airport and putting it through the TSA. You're just like, here's my wrenches.
No, you don't.
Make sure
scratch your nuts right on that tray. It doesn't matter.
Make sure those boys get on there.
Yep.
Get there on there. So, boys, check them out. The Luxury Auto Collection, dog of the week, is the big boy out here in Orange County. Ross Johnston had an unbelievable fight with Luke Shen last week. But not only that, Ross Johnston's been doing it all year. Coach Q plays the piss out of him for a fourth line. He's been contributing not only physically, but chipping in with some points. He plays every night. And when he's out there, obviously people know about it. So he is our Luxury Auto Collection dog of the week. Ross Johnston, up dog. He's been doing it for your boy Coach Q, and he's a big part of this Anaheim Ducks team.
Yeah, I watched the Ducks play the Oilers last week, boys, and there was a hit in center ice right in front of the penalty box that stood out for me because it got me kind of up. And after he hit this kid, I forget who it was, maybe Savoy or something. Everyone came at him, and he just did the two long arm punches like this. He just went boof. And took out both guys coming at him. I'm like, I go, to be that fucking big and strong and to still be out there and mixing it up is what you miss. It's what you miss about the game, pal.
Buddy, and anytime that anybody comes into the Honda Center, they know he's out there, Rich, and they don't take liberties on as their best players.
Yeah, he's a guy that knows his role. I know what I'm here for. I'm going to do it. I'm going to go run around. He can hold on to a puck down low. He's not he knows what he's doing. That's why coach can play him. He trusts him. He's not turning the puck over in bad spots. And he gives that credibility to their lineup. Those kids can go make plays. And if anyone fucks around, they're going to find out.
Yeah. And not only does Coach Q play him, like he'll throw the fourth line out there sometimes. I'm like, wow, you're really putting those guys out there right now? Like late in the third. I respect it. And they bring energy every single night for them. When there's nights that they're flat, Coach Q really leans on them. But like, look at this. He's played 57 games. He's got 3 goals, 11 assists for 14 points and 93 PIMs. Like, that's chipping in on the fourth line.
I'd take that.
It's a good year.
Yeah, I'd take that stat.
Yeah, right.
Hello. Yeah, that's chipping in. And by the way, back on Coach Q, it says so much to your team when you're a coach that actually trusts your line like that late in the game. Like when he says, hey, Colton, you boys, you're going. The whole team is like, fucking A, let's go. Like, that's when good teams who do that don't just play their best players all the way up through the game. Like, it says a lot about, the respect that you're going to get from your team.
Yeah.
When you're doing it.
Look at Luke Shen got it.
The human wrecking ball. The human wrecking ball, Luke Shen. I mean, he fucking gave it
to Shen. That was a great tilt, too. Toe-to-toe, lefty versus righties. Those lefties are always scary, eh? Nowhere to hide. Cross grip, go across the chest there. So, Luxury Auto Collection, dog of the week. That a boy, big boy, Ross Johnston. Keep it going. Says the Islanders got anyone tough? I wouldn't mind seeing a tilt tomorrow night when I'm half cut there at the Honda Center.
Well, they get is the captain playing?
But he's not fighting the big boy.
Not fighting the big boy.
We might have to get
Gudis or something.
We might have to get Matt Martin to come out of retirement for one night there to get
call up.
He's just a billet now, isn't he? He's just billet and Schaefer and teaches him the ropes.
He just got inducted into the Sarnia Sting Hall of Fame. Matt Martin, was he a pretty good junior player? Rich, like, did he put up some numbers or?
I don't know. I wouldn't know.
Yeah, I don't
know. I don't even know. He's probably a little bit younger than me, so I don't think I don't ever played against him.
I would listen, he had a hell of an NHL career, right? Oh, look at this. He put up some numbers in junior. He only played 3 years in Sarnia.
60 points.
He had 35 goals his last year, 142 PIMs, and his second year he had 25. So they put him in the Hall of Fame, though, on his NHL resume, right? 987 games. I'm just bitter I don't get any love from my old junior team. That's all it is, boys. I don't get anything. Not even a fucking like tip of the cap or
Not even just a bobblehead night or something, a bobblehead night?
not even a ticket. Not even a ticket.
Give me some tickets.
Not even a fucking 50-50 ticket. They throw me in the raffle. Good on it. Matt Martin, man. One time, though, you know why I don't like Matt Martin, boys? He came into Nashville, and he was young, right? And my hand was fucked up. I had it taped, and he came over, and I tipped my hat to him. I said, hey, I can't fight you. Like, my hand's fucked up. Like, I just can't go here. And he went out of his way to continue to cross-check me and fucking... Yeah. I'm like, fuck you, man. I just told you. I tipped my hat to you. I can't
Trying
go...
to make you look bad.
Yeah. I'm like, go fight Tutu. Or fucking, I don't know if Tutus might not have been there at that time, but he kind of chased me around after. I should have just fucking sucked
Player
her.
in the game within the game with you and trying to make you look like you didn't want him.
Yeah. And then next thing you know, I was out of the league. I didn't get another chance at him.
It's bullshit. Should have thrown him left.
I should have just went him. Probably take the tape off.
No, because even then you get fucked no matter what.
Yeah.
Ref looks at you got tape over your knuckle, you're kicked out. Or if you happen to pump him, they're like, oh, he pumped him because he had shit on his knuckles.
Yeah.
Say it was a lose-lose for you.
And my hand was so jammed up that I didn't want to deal with it being more jammed up. You know what I mean? I was fucking... every day I was like, fuck, every practice, I'm like, God damn it.
I used to just make that excuse, Richie, that I had a bad hand every time someone wanted to fight me. I was fuck, bud.
Yeah,
I love to go wish. I fuck for sure, right?
Yep.
I'm golfing after this. Yeah, fuck it.
Nah, sorry, my hand's in one. Can't help you out there. So, boys, around the National League, presented by our good friends at Eagle 4. Fellas, you want to lounge by the water, enjoy waterside dining and unwind in true Newport Beach style? The fellas at Missin Curfew have you covered. 20% off at Balboa Bay Resort with code CURFEW. Fellas, around the National League, the best league in the world. Richie, I'm going to start in L.A. Obviously Jim Hiller got let go. I don't know Jim personally. I'm sure he's a good man, like most people in the hockey world, especially the NHL. I've watched the Kings play a lot this year. I thought they should have fired him 3 months ago, the way they were playing. It was just, boring hockey to me. They bring in DJ Smith in an interim basis. But the one thing I do like about the Kings right now, Rich, is this line of Kopitar, Panarin, and Kempe. You watched the game last night. I mean, they have everything on this line. Kempe and the Breadman instantly have chemistry. Then you throw Kopi in there. I know they're out of the playoffs right now, Richie, but if they can kind of get back going here and find a way in, they now have a legit top line in LA.
Yeah, you're right on that. But with the Hiller stuff, first off, it was way past time.
Yeah.
I think, even going into the season, there was a lot of questions about him. I know he's a good guy, but it just wasn't working. That team is, they're tough to watch some nights, to be honest.
Yes.
And we have a lot of love for the Kings, but they're not an easy team to watch because it's just boring hockey, no scoring. I know they're trying to make some moves, getting Panarin in there, but I do like this line. I think you're right. Kopi's just steady Eddie out there, and then let those guys make their plays. But I'm hoping they can push for a playoff spot. I really like to see those guys get in. Obviously, with one guy getting fired, it's good to see my buddy Matt Green get on the bench. I think he'll be a great coach. He seems like he's meant to be a coach. So I'm happy in that respect.
Yeah, I wanted to see Stoli. This is what I would have done. And Rich, you made a good point before we recorded. Stoli didn't want to do it, but if you're going to throw Greener on there, why don't you make Stoli the interim head coach? You have DJ Smith there to help Stoli. It's 23 games, and just see if Stoli and Greener can bring back the LA Magic, and just see if they can get in there for 23 games, and get on a runner. And then when you're done, if Stoli, you go back to your normal role. I just thought, giving DJ Smith the interim, I'm like, oh, well, that's just about as exciting as fucking, what, let's do something exciting. Stoli, you're the head coach for last game.
Something Stoli wants to do though, and that it all falls on that, right? Like, you could ask him, and you could say, no, I know, but the GM and the brass can really be like, hey, this is the opportunity. Do you want it? Because I would love nothing more than to have an ex-player. If I'm on a team where they're shaking things up, and we just added Panarin, we added a piece, like you said. Yeah, what do you want? Like, you want positivity in the room. You want a guy that's been there and won, a guy the fans like, a guy that the players all look up to, which is Stoli. But again, it's a lot of, it's a much different regimen for him, and you got to be ready for it.
Yeah, and I will say this, Rich, and you probably know more than me, but Stoli's doing development. He knows all the guys in the Ontario Reign. He knows all the guys that are on the LA team right now. Like this, Richie, there's not many guys around the Kings organization that know the ins and outs of the organization like Jared Stoll. It's not like we're just calling like, hey, Stoli, come in here. You haven't been watching anything. Like this guy is, he knows the heartbeat of the team more than anyone.
For sure he does. And there's no one probably more respected than Stoliar on that organization as well. But like, it's a big job and you got to be ready for it. I don't think, halfway through this season, he's got a busy life. He's, a young kid. Aaron, his wife's super busy. I don't know if maybe the timing wasn't quite perfect, but you never know. Things can change. He might have some time to think about it over the next whatever. Maybe that does develop into something, but I think he does like his role now in player development. Plus he does the TV. And then he has, still some free time where he can do his thing. So yeah, things change though. You never know over the summer. You never know how things shake out.
I wasn't saying like he's going to be the next head coach of the LA Kings for the next fucking 10 years. Yeah. I thought, hey, listen,
maybe just give him a chance.
We're bringing in Greener. Fuck, Stoli, you're an interim head coach. Everyone in LA knows who you are. You won 2 cups here. DJ Smith, Stoli's going to lean on you because you have experience. I just think there would have been more of a buzz around the league that, hey, DJ Smith's the interim head coach who missed the playoffs 4 years in a row in Ottawa. It's like,
yeah, you're right.
I'm just looking for a little fucking spunk. And
I know what you're saying.
I'm looking for some fucking spunk here.
I get what you're saying, and I don't disagree, but someone's got to be willing to do that too.
You don't disagree, but you disagree.
There you go.
No. Well, listen, you can't knock that it probably wasn't thrown around. That conversation was probably had.
I hope so.
Yeah, we need more ex guys.
It's just I think
fresh ones.
I think it would have been just listen. They're on the outside looking at anyways. It's not like there would have been a lot of pressure on Stoli going in there at that time. And hey, who knows if he goes on a runner and he ends up loving it. But selfishly, it would have been nice to see Stoli behind the bench. Hey, fucking.
I agree with you.
Chirping the ref. He's cheating on the face-off circle. Fuck's sake. Get
him out of here.
Yeah, kick him out there. God damn it. So, but listen, the bread man, he can dish it. Him and Kempe. It's like
good dynamic. Adding a piece there is crucial, but yeah, it's a right start.
It's at least entertaining for these Kings fans to watch too, right? Yeah. Like together, they're really, really good. So, good move there by Kenny Holland. Moving on here around the National League, up in the Bay Area, Macklin Celebrini is now playing with Kiefer Sherwood. I watched them play a couple nights ago. Who went in there and beat them? Doesn't matter. But anyway, Sherwood was on the line with them. Sherwood hunting pucks with Celebrini. I'm telling you what, man, this is a real nice line. They had Will Smith on there with them as well. But I just think Sherwood and Celebrini moving forward, I like them together up, dog, because Sherwood plays his guts out, and obviously Celebrini does as well. Right now they're not on the same line on this depth chart I'm looking at, but the game I was watching, I loved it.
Yeah, we talk about going to see Matthew Schaefer play. I would love nothing more than a fella tour and go catch this kid live. It's a spectacle watching him play hockey at this age. And, I've always loved Sherwood. So it's a smart play. It was a great ad at the time. This kid's been going off in Vancouver. He was the only bright, shining star for the Canucks the last couple of years. It's only right that they're together. It's only right.
It'd be interesting to see if they sign Sherwood, right? Or trade him. They got, 4 or 5 days to sign the guy here. So not even. So it'll be interesting to see how that shakes out.
I love watching the Sharks. I hate their teal uniforms, though, and the teal buckets. I hate them.
Yeah.
But I love when Revo comes over the boards there. No visor.
Is he back in
75? He was last week when I watched him play.
He's good.
Just trying to kill people. Just trying to, I'm like, that's awesome.
Don't lose that art. Don't lose that edge.
Revo. Never lose that. I look out for the Sharks. They've slid a bit here lately. They're on the outside looking in, but I am interested to see if they do sign him, because if you're Sherwood and you have the opportunity to stay there and play with Celebrini, that's a pretty good coattails to ride. So, and the one thing about when we say Schaefer, I just think of fucking eastbound and down, Schaefer BMW. Well, Smith, Schaefer Kenny Powers. Kenny Powers. One of the best characters
ever.
Schaefer BMW. Woo. Moving along here around the National League. Listen, boys, I have a saying, rest is a weapon. Now, some Leafs fans may be saying this guy's been sleeping all fucking year, but Willie Nylander and Oliver Ekman-Larsson were roomies, and I guess the rumor coming out of there is all Nylander did was shut the mill the entire Olympics, and I fucking respect it. And it just made me realize you're the two perfect guys to talk to. You played forever. You sleep a lot in the NHL, right? You sleep after practice. You don't sleep after games, really. But other than that, you're trying to get as much sleep when you can.
Yeah, he's
right.
I guess you could speak for yourself there, and most guys.
Well, you got to sleep a bit.
I know, but it's tricky. Your
lot of
mind
day
shuts
sleep.
down. A lot of
day
I
sleep.
could never sleep after a practice, though. Never. Like on an off day.
Even if you got pinned the night before.
Never like a nap in my own bed. Maybe on the bird if I was just a little hung titty and we're flying back somewhere. But I just always found it hard in my own house to to like go and actually fucking, throw the covers on. Now, game day, different. Game day was a routine hour and a half. Back in the day, it could be 3 hours. Those young kids know how to sleep, but this is actually impressive. Maybe he just had a little jet lag. Maybe he was still on Toronto time and just couldn't quite snap out of it.
Yeah, I guess he just shut her down the whole time. And listen, I was not like, listen, after a game, let's go get after it. I hated getting on the bird hung too, but I did it more than I didn't in my career. But after a practice, when you're out the night before and you come home, Rich, to that Four Seasons or the Ritz, and you fucking draw those blinds, and you you're like, oh, whoa, fuck, I missed dinner. I gotta get something to eat here.
There is nothing better than that.
Right?
Oh my God. Nice quick lunch.
Yeah.
Right to the wrapper. 2 or 3 hours. Let's go.
I'll usually just grab a sando at the rink or something. What is that? Jimmy John's? Oh, throw me that. Perfect. Yeah, that'll work here. I'll throw a little mayo on that.
Got any mustard there? Oh.
But hey, I thought that was rest is a weapon. So Willie, way to go, fella. Last but not least, here around the National League, Updog, your Oilers have officially made a splash. Connor Murphy for a second-round pick to the Oilers. Fella, what are your thoughts? Lipstick on a pig here or what? Hey, lipstick on a pig, or what do you think?
I hated playing against this kid.
Gord is
old man. Yeah, Gord is old man was my coach in Florida.
On the ice, that is.
To me, it's not the right fit. Although they must see something in this guy. Stan Bowman, being the old Chicago guy, he must have had his eyeballs on him for a while. I'm sure Connor and Leon had something to say about it. Maybe a better option than most guys they have currently, but is he the right option in the pool of guys that you'd like to hunt to give Connor the best chance to win? That's to be determined, Richie. I just, for me, he yaps a lot. It's not like he fights. He's not huge offensive.
Fights the puck.
Oh, I don't know. Time will tell. I'm now going to get to watch this guy play a lot more hockey because I do tune in at Edmonton and I watch the boys up there and Jack Michaels and, the Bobby Stauffer. It'd be interesting to see what Stauffer. It was definitely not a guy that Stauffer said was in the radar. I was asking him last week. So I don't know, boys. Like, is his cap hit? What's his cap hit? Is he he's a $5 million?
Oh, that's why they could fit him in. No, I think he's making around 3 or something, okay. 3 and a bit, 3 and a hook or something. But yeah, I don't think, I played with the guy for 3 or 4 years in Arizona and he's a big body. That's why he's liked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And a right shot.
He's a right shot. He's going to be a depth 5'6" defenseman for him. He gives him some length. He can PK. He wouldn't fight me in my career, so I know he's not that tough. But 4 and a 4 and a hook, and I think they retained some on him. So, I think it was just one of those guys that needed someone big, and that's kind of the guy they fit in. A Desharnais-ish type player.
Yeah, listen, I got it down here. He's making 2.2, Casey. I don't know. Maybe did they retain?
They must have retained.
Retained?
2.2 is retained.
Yeah. Okay. Listen, if I would have played against this guy, I would have went right up to him. He acts tough sometimes, and I think what they're hoping up, dog, because I know you bleed Oilers orange and blue, is kind of like Wallman, right? Wallman was in San Jose. Nobody really thought how, he was very good. He was on a bad team. They're thinking, okay, listen, we can get him out of Chicago where he's been his whole career losing. Bring him in here. He's going to be a 5'6" guy. Maybe we can, he can bring in some stability for us, right? And be better than he has been in Chicago. He played too many minutes in Chicago on a bad team. And when you watched him play, it exposed him.
Well, that's his D partner now, right? It's probably Ballman, and to give him a chance off the hop. Can he play top 4 minutes and be, a shutdown guy? Obviously, we know the Edmonton Oilers are successful when they, when they outscore. It's not like they stop more goals than the other team. It's just, can they score more goals? So this guy comes in and can he shut down other teams to just keep them to 1 or 2 goals a night, and Edmonton finds their success again? That's the kick.
Yeah. I think he's a little bit of an upgrade, I think, though.
Yeah. No, for
you
sure.
Know what I mean?
For sure. So right now you would go Ekholm, Bouchard, Wallman, Murphy, Darnell Nurse, Tyre Emberson. That's their 6 right now.
Yeah.
We'll see, boys. Listen, we're mixing up here at Missin Curfew. Obviously, it is trade week, the trade deadline Friday. We brought our boy, the Missin Curfew insider, Dave Pagnotta, NHL Network, coming at you next here on Missin Curfew. Welcome back to Missin Curfew. Updog, Richie, fella. kind of the Missin Curfew insider. We didn't even really ask him if we could call him that, but we kind of do. You know, when it's this time of year, there's one guy we lean on up, dog.
I think the introduction should state that.
Right.
I don't know where he's.
We just can't.
We know where he's working. He's got more jobs than us for sure. But I like kind of the Missin Curfew insider.
Yeah, good man. NHL Network, Dave Pagnotta. Davey P, good to see you, fella. Love what you do, and I really appreciate you taking the time every year to come on here and give us some scoops, my man.
Yeah, thanks for having me, boys. I like the new tag. I like it.
Yeah,
and, yeah.
I know you've missed
Build off that.
I know you've missed some curfews. I've seen you out in Toronto, and I've seen you at some All-Star games. I know you can push the envelope a little bit.
No, I dabble. I dabble when the time comes. That's for sure.
Well, thank you, buddy. Listen, I got to start off. A good Italian like yourself, you didn't go over to Milan for the Olympics. My first part of the question is why?
Yeah.
And I think I kind of know the answer to, because the media coverage, it's kind of a tight ship over there, eh? Dave, I mean, is that why you didn't go?
Yeah, it's a combination of that. NHL Network and everything. The credentials, the amount of credentials were kind of limited. The access was a little bit limited. The IOC is a totally different beast. They play by their own rules, and that's it. And if you don't play within them, then forget about it. You're out of there. So between the restraints and not having a break in season since forever, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna pass on this one. I'm gonna watch it from home. I went over to Milan in August for the NHL media tour. That was good enough for me for a week there. That was nice. I took my ass over to Jamaica, got a little bit of sun, regrouped for the rest of the season, and away we go.
Yeah, Dave, I just want to stay with you there. Like, obviously, everything that comes out of the Olympics from a player's perspective, they all love it. And I get it, right? You go over there, you're with the best athletes in the whole world, you're representing your country. But now when you look at it from a media side and trying to grow the game and getting as much kind of content in a content world nowadays, like, there's going to be a World Cup in 28. Like, after the Olympics, I just thought, like, man, we didn't get much out of it from a content media perspective.
Yeah, and that's the IOC, and even the NHL was saying we're going to go back and have some more conversations to see in the next Olympics, because they're going back, how to maximize additional media exposure, more highlights, more access, and more takeaways. And then, exactly to your point, more after the fact. How do we hype this up afterwards, and build off this moving forward? They're talking about some start times. They just want to modify things a little bit with the IOC and the IIHF to make sure that it's being promoted and the sport's being promoted in the right way. Obviously, there's the best athlete in the world in hockey that are part of the National Hockey League that get to go over. Why not promote them even more? And let's take a little bit of that red tape off of the restrictions and that type of access that's just consistently been strapped down by the IOC. So those conversations will probably continue. I'd love to see it too. More behind the scenes stuff and all of that. But that's been restricted, and they want to lift that. So I hope they do. I hope the NHL and the NHLPA are able to kind of muscle it in a little bit and give us that type of access and the behind the scenes stuff that everybody wants.
Yeah, the biggest sporting event every 4 years. There's so many big moments that these people work 4 years to get to, and we're handcuffed to see what it's like behind the scenes. Like, even getting ready, they didn't even show the dressing rooms. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you couldn't even get like an eyeball into, like, you know, Sid talking to the guys and not getting dressed, or, you know, just a missed opportunity by everybody, which we'll get in the World Cup.
Yeah, right. And that's exactly it. World Cup, totally different beast. That's the NHL and the NHLPA. And they want to take what they learned last year at Four Nations. They want to, and then take a little bit of this from Olympics and just build the shit out of it for 2 years from now. Like, they want to hype this up crazy. Like, they're going through the process now of still narrowing down cities, because there are going to be multiple cities for World Cup in 2 years. There's going to be at least one main host in Europe, at least two hosts in North America. And they want to provide all of that access and have that readily available between the networks, between the NHL, the NHLPA, the social media outlets and the sites and all that stuff. They want to pimp that out as much as they can, as they should. And it's going to, I think, give us a totally different insight and light into just how these tournaments work, and just how invested the athletes are into representing their countries outside of Olympics too. They want to push World Cup significantly. You can't do that without the added content. The league knows it. The PA knows it. The IOC doesn't care. So it's up to the NHL and the NHLPA to push that.
Yeah, and I'm so fired up for the World Cup, and I think the time is now to push it hard, right? Like, obviously, USA just won the gold medal. I mean, Canada and USA are both powerhouse countries, and the content you could get around it would be unbelievable. So that's exciting for me. Is Vegas one of the cities being kicked around for that 28 World Cup, or?
They put their hat in the ring. I don't know where it stands now. I know Calgary wants to as well with their new barn. That should be ready in time for that one. Edmonton is always kind of in the mix. Vancouver as well. It's not going to be in Toronto. I'm pretty sure that it's going to be somewhere else. Whatever the Canadian city is, it'll be outside of that. Montreal always loves these types of events. They'd love to get another draft as well at some point. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, they're in the mix. It was like Four Nations was such a big hit last year in Montreal and Boston that both cities have talked about getting into this for World Cup, but I think they want to kind of spread things out. So don't be surprised if Calgary's the Canadian host. Vegas definitely wants to be in the mix for that. Utah as well. So we'll see kind of where that comes together.
Can't wait. We'll bump into you there for sure, fella. We'll definitely bump into you. First round's on us.
Summer to Montreal.
I'll go to Montreal anytime. Any fucking time. I'm going to Montreal anytime.
You had to take us out, tune it up.
Yeah. Right. Hey, Dave, before I turn over to Richie, one last thing here on the Olympics, buddy. We're all proud Canadians here. We got a lot of friends that are on Team USA. And what Team USA winning that gold did down here in the States, rallying the country has been unbelievable. And they've represented themselves so well. It stung when we lost, though. And then, back home, you're up there. How was it? What was the feel like back home when we lost that, gold medal game in overtime in just dramatic fashion?
Deflating.
Yeah.
Just totally like the life just got sucked out of the room. I was with like 50 people at a buddy's place and everyone was all jacked and psyched for it. And then, you breakaway missed. And then, Taves, that great save by Hellebuck. And you're like, okay, fine. We got this. We're coming. The momentum's there. Nate missing the empty net stung a little bit, but then just right at the end, giving that goal up to Jack Hughes, you're like, and everything, it just went quiet. Just deflated the whole atmosphere, and it delayed the rest to Sunday Fun Day. It didn't derail it, but we got back on track a little bit. But it definitely took a little bit of time, and it sucked. But like the U.S., I give them credit. There was no quit, despite how much Canada was dominating that third period. They came back, they pulled it off. Kudos to them. They earned it, and Canada, they got 4 more years Olympic time and get back at it in 2 years at the World Cup.
Yeah, sorry, one more for me on this, and not trying to stir the pot, Dave, or get anyone in trouble here, but, Brady and Austin had to go home and answer some tough questions, right? Like, do you think this is just going to blow over eventually? Like, okay, it was so fresh and salt in the wound. Everyone in Canada was pissed we lost the gold medal. Do you think we can kind of move on past this, or do you think there was some damage done to both those athletes that may not be repairable?
Nah, I hope it'll blow over.
Yeah.
Because it should. The atmosphere in Toronto when they honored the Olympians for the Leafs, OEL and Nylander on Sweden, and then obviously Matthews on USA. There were some cheers, a little more boos than cheers, but I get it. It's you're in Toronto, it's a Canadian market. But it was a decent blend. I haven't heard there hasn't been much since. At least this week anyway, and maybe that's because everyone's focused on deadline or whatnot. But I think it'll blow over. It should, especially in these markets. We get it. We're passionate. We want Canada to win. Didn't work. You're the rival. We'll boo you this first time, and then the rest of it. All right, you guys were in the sea for 2, big Canadian franchises. Go rep those teams the right way, and I think the fans will be fine with that.
Yeah. Just coming from me, 2 kind of quick ones just to wrap up the Olympics. Living on the West Coast, games coming on at 5 a.m. What was the reasoning that they couldn't push that back a little bit in Italy, to even 4 or 5 o'clock? I know they had the closing ceremonies, I think the same day or the next day, but any insight there? And then just on the World Cup, is Russia going to be part of that World Cup? Do you know anything about that?
Yeah. Well, first on the Olympics, they wanted to get everything done before the closing ceremony, and because it was like at whatever time it was later on in the day. Later on in the evening, that was like one of the big main events that were left. So I think there's been, or there will be, some talk about putting it maybe the day before the end of the Olympics rather than having a day out, because it's going to be in France, same time zone. as Milan. So you're going to have to deal with that all over again. If you can get the gold medal game on a Saturday instead of the Sunday and push that in prime time on our side of the pond, then I think that would be the preference. But obviously they have to discuss it. The IOC has to agree to all that fun stuff. So we'll see where that kind of goes. But I know that's a sticking point. For the NHL, they definitely want to figure out a better solution rather than having the game at 5 Pacific, 8 Eastern. See if you can maybe make it on a Saturday if they're not going to budge the ceremony. Do it on a Saturday in prime time, and away you go. 5 p.m. and 8 p.m. Well, actually, that won't work. That won't work overseas, but maybe local, maybe 8 p.m. their time.
Yeah, exactly.
Bring it over to
Just something more reasonable.
Eastern.
Yeah.
Exactly. They're going to talk on that, and then World Cup is still early on the Russia side. So as of now, it's still a no, but they're going to give it another year or just under a year before they make a determination on to how that's going to go, because they're going to be at least 8 teams. 8 countries as part of the World Cup in this next one, maybe up to 10. So it'll kind of depend on when they make that determination on which nations are going to participate.
Yeah, we got to change the game. The Updog tried to stay up all night for the game, and I was texting him in the first period. I'm like, fuck, I think he might be sleeping. And he's like, fuck, I tried to play through, but
It was the altitude got me.
back in the days,
I was right up. No, I tried right to 5. I would not go and even draw on. And I needed 15 minutes. I think they were going out for warm-ups. I'm like, booju. Just done.
back in the day, Dave,
We're going to keep that going. You should know.
Yeah. Oh, listen, it was on the Sunday, and I went hard Thursday, Friday, and then into Sunday. So anyway.
Oh, he overshot the runway. He overshot the runway.
Yeah, just a bit.
One thing I did learn about the Olympics is the IOC. Don't mess around with the IOC. They don't fuck around like you said. So, Dave, let's get into some trade.
Them and FIFA. You don't want to mess with either of those.
Exactly. It's the time of year, obviously, and I got to start. You're probably sick of talking about these guys, but unfortunately, I got to ask you right off the get-go about the Toronto Maple Leafs. Listen, I kind of thought, I knew with Marner leaving that they were not going to be as good of a regular season team. I expected them to take a little dip in the regular season. However, the moves of Joshua, Nicky Roy, even Michelli, I thought if they get in the playoffs, they might be a harder out, Dave. I did not see this coming. So in the next few days here, are all the UFAs gone? Could you see Brad? They're desperate for a first-round pick. Could you see Brad maybe doing something extra to get some first-round picks?
He's listening. He's trying. All 3 of the UFAs, like you said, Lawton, McMahon, and Yarncrook are available. They're talking. They're still talking contract with a couple of those guys. Yarncrook won't be back next season regardless. But, they're going back and forth with McMahon. They've talked a little bit with Lawton about something. It doesn't sound like anything is close as the time we're doing this. But they're listening on almost everybody. Like Nick Waugh, he's a prime candidate to be moved. There's talk about Steven Lorentz as well, generating a little bit of interest. Simone Benoit on the back end. Brandon Carlo's name's out there. Michelli, Domi, OEL's been generating interest. Like you said, they want to bring in a first-round pick as part of this. They're either going to have to couple guys up or move like a big guy like OEL, who doesn't want to move. He'd like to stay here. But that's the kind of player that probably generates a first-round pick in a package coming back. So if somebody, almost overpays, then I think, Oliver Ekman-Larsson's a good candidate to be moved in the next few days here. But outside of that, you're looking at the Carlos and the Waz and Michelli's and so on, along with the UFAs that they've got. Because this isn't, and Toronto's not going to go through a bit of a rebuild or a retool or anything like that. They're just in a shift. And I agreed with you. I thought this team was going to be a wild card team this season. They were going to regress a little bit with losing Mitch, but not to the level and not to the performance in which they've displayed so far this season. I'm a little bit surprised by it. So some of the, obviously the guys didn't work out, and Joshua just came back from his injury the other day. So you give him a little bit of runway here, but they're probably going to move out a bunch of these other guys, 3 pieces, 4 pieces, to try to recoup some assets and then focus on building a team for next season because they want to remain competitive. They want to get back in the playoff hunt next year.
Yeah, I got a couple more for the Leafs before I turn it over Updog. No one follows the team closer than you. From down here watching them, I've watched them a lot, Dave. I picked him to win the East, so there you go for my hockey fucking knowledge, fella. But to me, buddy, no heartbeat. Like, well, what's going on? Do you think it's something in the room? I mean, you can't come out. Dave, I'll give them tough scheduling. You come back from a break. You got Tampa, Florida. I'll give you that. tough games. But to lay an egg at home Saturday night against the fucking Sens in the Battle of Ontario, like, you got to give your balls a tug here. Like, to me, there's just no heart in there.
Yeah, and it looked like that first loss against Tampa just sucked the life out of them a little bit, because they weren't that good against Florida the next night. And then, yeah, like you said, they were garbage against Ottawa. Last night in Philly, or against Philly, I should say, like that, it was only a certain point of the game where they started to really push, and that was it. Like, the rest of it was just like, okay, it's just the same team over and over again. I can't pinpoint it. The top guy should be the one kind of leading the way, and it just looks like even they're deflated and they look defeated in certain moments. And again, maybe this is just a write-off. This is just hey, this season's gone in the shitter. We got to put this behind us quick. Let GM do what he's got to do, and we'll focus on next year. But I think there's going to be some big questions that have to be answered in the offseason too. Like, I haven't gotten the sense that anything's picked up on Morgan Riley right now, but I wouldn't be shocked if that's something in a conversation that they're going to have at the end of the season again, because they had a loose one last year. But have a bigger conversation with him at the end of this season to explore some possibilities this summer. I'd be shocked 0% if that were to happen.
They're just a team you expect to be in the playoffs, so it's tough to say, like, are they going to rebuild? Where other teams like this, you're just like, it's another shitty year from them. Their top guys are going to have to move on or whatever, right?
Do you think it was the weather? A lot of snowfall this year in Toronto. Do you think they're like, fuck this, I'm sick of fucking
all stinky things.
fucking Nylander's taking the subway. Like,
I mean, it's affected me. It's way too much snow and cold this year. It sucks.
Allowing them to wear whatever outfits they wanted to wear.
Yeah.
Because that really...
Maybe. Well, I mean, did you guys see what Willie wore yesterday?
Who did?
Yes. If you can find the outfit that William Nylander wore yesterday, I don't know what the hell that was. He has like a cardigan on. Like, he's usually okay. I don't know what that was yesterday. It looked like he was like 70 years old going to a book reading.
It has to be better than PK's outfit on ESPN the other night. That's for
Oh God. Oh, parachute pants.
I don't know. Those parachute pants, no. Come on. Like, he should know better too. Yeah, that was wrong.
Maybe they didn't think he didn't think he had to do like one of the things where he's standing up. Maybe he thought he could sit behind the desk the whole time.
It's like he's in not dressed the whole time. Yeah, he did not look at the rundown. He did not check that out.
Kevin O'Leary style, just in the boxers. Are you checking out the outfit, Opes?
Yeah, I am. Go ahead though.
I wanted to switch gears. Almost similar situation with a team that I talk about and I follow a lot. The St. Louis Blues, they're always in the conversation and not, either rebuilding or maybe just a slight shift, as you said. And as Obi pointed out, I picked these guys to basically win the cup, but at least win the West. And that fucking smacked me right in the face.
Tough call by Obes and Updog. Yeah.
Listen, they're in a unique spot, Dave. They are, they have a veteran GM who's passing it on to a new GM. So in a lot of situations, is this a trade deadline where Alex sort of takes over and says, this is what I want, in my team moving forward? Or is it Army basically, still has his legacy there? So there's a unique thing. And I love your thoughts on that. And then just some of their players, and you can dive into them, but I know people have been offered Robert Thomas, Jordan Kyrou. I know Falk's name is on the table. Is Bitter and Parayko two guys that might get moved to be, sort of a different St. Louis Blues come next year when Alex takes them over?
Yeah, they're listing on pretty much everybody over 25. And even guys like Parayko's got the full no move, and Binner's got limited no say, or limited no trade and so limited say as part of it. Shen and Falk have their no trade clauses as part of it with limited trade with limited teams. They're listing on everybody. Pius Suter's another one. So it's still our Army's still running it. Doug Armstrong is still kind of overseeing everything, but in conjunction with Alex Steen, and kind of going working together to say, hey, look, this is the direction, this is the way I'm going. So you chime in a little bit. Let's work together here. But it's still Army that's kind of running everything, and the conversations have picked up with a lot of their guys. Like, I'm not expecting a full blown teardown, but there is the possibility that they could be the most active team this week by moving out a bunch of pieces. And Thomas has picked up in the last week. There have been a lot of teams that circled in just to try to gauge if they can even get into the mix on him. It's a very, very high price tag. You're talking about a top level elite prospect, or NHL ready young player a first round pick, and then another first round pick equivalency in terms of player. Like that's a very, very big package. And if somebody pays it, then they can justify making that type of a move. Utah is definitely in that mix. Buffalo's in that mix. There's a few other teams. Montreal, to a certain extent, has kicked tires on it. I think there are other teams that have also kind of tried to get into this battle and into this race. Philadelphia, to a certain extent. Seattle, to a certain extent as well. But you kind of have to look at the teams that have, deep cupboards and a willingness to move off of some of those younger assets and draft picks in order to bring in somebody who's controllable for the foreseeable future. Like he's got another, 5-6 years on his contract. So does Jordan Kyrou. So some of these teams, and by the way, I'll throw the Islanders in that mix. I believe they've talked to them about the possibility of getting both. I don't know how they pull that off. But there's at least been a conversation about that. So I think there's a decent shot that one of these guys is moved by the deadline. I think Kyrou is in a bit of a unique situation because I think he's resolved to the fact that he's going to get moved at some point, be it now or the summer. So we'll see kind of where that goes. But they're going to be a very busy team. Justin Falk is another one that's generated a ton of interest 1 year left on his contract. There's a lot of interest in him coming in, especially after, Anderson was moved and kind of him and Ristolainen are kind of at the top of the list in terms of available right shot at D with 1 year left on their deals. St. Louis is popular. And like I said, I expect a few moves coming out of there.
Patty Waugh would just chew up Jordan Kyrou and spit him out, wouldn't he? Like Kyrou would be like, "Oh boy, oh Patty, fella."
And then I just want to tag Thomas for a sec too. Is he's your first. He could be first centerman at $8 million for the next 5 years, right? I think you said.
Yeah.
He's a guy. He reminds me of Tarasenko, and I might get butchered, and I might get torched for this comment. Is that I don't think he's in shape, and I think a change for this guy going into a new room out of his comfortability will be like sort of a wake-up call, and he can be a real 1A centerman. Should he feel a little pressure to be in shape and fucking be the guy he's supposed to be?
Well, a lot of comfort food in St. Louis. You got to get him out rainy days, you DoorDash. I know the feeling. I got to get a pie here. Fuck, I'm going to pie.
You just see, I go back to their cup run as a young kid. This guy controlled the puck and controlled the play everywhere, and he's just kind of fallen off a little bit from that. But I'm saying if a team does pay that to the St. Louis Blues and they get him in return, the ceiling on him can go up, in my opinion, because he's going to be out of his comfort zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's going to have to.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason he's available, right?
Yeah.
There's a reason why they're willing to listen on him. We don't know the definitive reason, but there's a reason.
Yeah.
So whatever team that brings him in is going to want to make sure that he's going to be playing at an elite status, being an elite player, or supposed to be an elite player. So the expectations are that much higher, especially if it's a team like Detroit. Stevie's not going to mess around with that kind of shit. So he's going to make sure that, whatever star he brings in, and this is really any team, you're going to have to be living up to a certain level of expectation on and off the ice in order to become this elite player to make us that much better and chase the championship. So, yeah, without question, there's something there, and teams are curious about it, but they also really love the player and believe that, hey, look, it's been a crappy year. Get him out of that environment, go chase a playoff race, and let's see if he can get back to that status from before.
He's a hell of a player. So anyway.
Yep.
Well, I'm sure it's another team we've talked about a lot. Another Canadian team, Connor McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers. What the hell do they do? I mean, they have no goalie. Trade for another goalie out. I mean, I think Bennington would be the perfect fit there. I know they're cap crunched, and you have to. I don't know how they'd make it work, but they got to do something. They made a lot. Mangiapane coming in didn't work. A lot of these guys they signed, veteran guys, they haven't worked out. What's your take on it, and where do you see this going? Because if it doesn't work soon enough, he's your best player, and the best player in the world's leaving.
Yeah. Well, they got 2 more years after this one to try it out, right? So the time it's running out. I like the ad that they made the other day, bringing in Connor Murphy. I like that for the back end. And they kind of used up all their money in that regard, right? Like they like Matthias Janmark's done for the regular season. They put him on LTIR. They send Mangiapane down. They're still going to try to trade Mangiapane to free up additional cap space. But they're right up against it. Like they have,
they got nothing.
$200,000, something like that in space right now. Like they're looking for somebody to come in on a 3C role. And because of where their cap situation is at, like they've been linked to Nick Waugh. for a while in Toronto. It may be somebody else. It may end up being Scott Lawton at $1.5 million. Was at $3 million to bring in somebody there, and maybe you convince Toronto to eat half of that contract, and he's there at $7.75, and suddenly, no, it's that much more appealing, and you can make it a lot easier to juggle the cap in that regard. But that's kind of what they're looking at. They wanted to bring in somebody on the back end, and now they're looking to see if they can shore up their bottom six. I think any big impact type addition, they already made the Jari trade. I think that's going to be safe for the summer. I think, depending on how this season plays out for the Oilers, I think they're going to have a pretty interesting offseason, and I could definitely see them going out there and bringing in a top six guy, an affordable top six guy. But that's definitely, I think, a target for Edmonton this summer. Obviously, you got to get through this year. So this might be a little premature, but I do anticipate them having a pretty active offseason, and then just going all in for next year, because they're going to have more cap flexibility in order to pull that off. Right now, they check one box on the blue line. They're going to try to see if they can shore up that 3C position, and then, we'll see how the rest of the season plays out for them.
Dave P. Go ahead, Rich.
No, I was just wondering, the way I look at it, the GM hasn't done a great job there. Do you think this guy, depending on how this year goes, do you think he's the GM of this team next summer?
Yeah, I do. I don't think they're looking to make a change like that anytime soon. He did a decent job in trying to free up additional cap space. Like, his hands were tied in certain scenarios. So it's not like the easiest type of position to be brought in. So I think they want to give him a little bit of runway. Like, here in Toronto, everybody's crying for Tree to get the axe, but you can't replace Mitch Marner in one season, right? You usually can't replace him almost ever, that caliber player, but you can't replace some of that output in just 1 year. It's got to be a little bit gradual. He tried to fill other areas. Okay, shit, didn't work. Yeah. Let's reconvene for this offseason, give it one more kick at the can. I don't think Edmonton's there yet. I think they're going to roll with Bowman and kind of see where it goes. Again, I think this coming summer is going to be very, very impactful and significant for the immediate success of the Edmonton Oilers over the next 2 years.
Dave, I just got to disagree with you at one point, is that you've lost a tradable asset now with this deal that you gave Trent Frederick, which is 8 years and bazillions of money.
Okay.
So
that's fair.
That deal alone gives, they could trade him right now at the deadline, but no one will take him because of the deal he's on. But I don't know if that was him either. Maybe that wasn't Bowman. Maybe it was Connor that went in and said, this guy deserves to stick around here long term. He fucking played hurt in the playoffs last year, and we know he's a great guy.
Yeah.
I don't know what the case is, but that deal alone handcuffs you out of, a potential guy to add at the deadline. And I just think that deal alone could fall on, maybe making a change at some point. But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair, because there's no, he has not produced anywhere near what they anticipated. Not eons away from what they anticipated him contributing. So in terms of an X, I think you're right. It's totally justified to give, Bowman a bit of an X there, or a big one, on that contract, because he has not done anything near what they anticipated him to be able to do. So that's fair.
Yeah, when we sticking with the Oilers, what about a guy like Bobby McMahon, Alberta boy, UFA? I know he's a winger, but at least he brings a little fucking speed and a little bit of ball sack with him if he went to the Oilers.
Yeah, and good cap hit again. That's another scenario where it's a solid ad for them. Now, if they do that, presumably he's going to play top six, and then you move Nuge back down to the center position to give yourself, a little bit of Connor, Leon, and Nuge 1, 2, 3. So they could absolutely go in that direction and do that. Before the Olympic break, there were a lot of people that thought that he was going to be a target. They hadn't talked about Bobby McMahon at that point. It was OEL and Nick Waugh that were kind of the targets at that point. They've already addressed their blue line with Murphy, so Ekman Larsson's probably out. Now it's a matter of finding that other forward. And if it's not a 3C, then Bobby McMahon would certainly be a piece that would fit, because he's proven he can be versatile. He's up and down the lineup, and he can play with some of the big boys in Toronto. There's no reason why I can't play with a lot of the big boys in Edmonton too. But if they do bring in a winger, then that means they're going to move forward with Nuge at the dot and have those three guys up the middle. So a little bit of juggling they have to do, and a little bit of decision-making they have to make here over these next few days.
They'd have some depth at center position if they did that finally. A little depth.
Yeah.
But listen, David P., I'm going to move on to my teams that I got some future bets on, fella. Minnesota Wild, I got them. about 7 seconds after Quinn Hughes got traded there. I love what Billy G has done with this hockey club. I'm hearing Stammer and our boy Vinny Trochek. I'm kind of torn because Stammer the Hammer on the power play with Kirill throwing him sauces intrigues me. But Troche down the middle and just a 200-foot player. Are those the names you're hearing? And is Billy G, he's going to do something here before Friday, correct?
Yeah, without question. I think he's going to add somebody at that on that roster, and I think center position is the primary. Trochek's been a guy on their radar for a while. They didn't engage immediately with the Rangers on him, but they have since. And with 3 years left on his contract, $5.625 million cap, it's a sweetheart of a deal for what he's capable of producing at both ends of the ice, because he's a great two-way center. I think that's a primary target for them. I know you're kicking around on Shen, you're kicking around on Kadri as well, but where the number fits and the term that's left on that deal, I just think that makes a lot of sense for the Minnesota Wild, and I wouldn't be shocked if he's their primary target right now in trying to get it. Stammer, yeah, I mean, he'd be great, but you're going to need Nashville to retain on that contract, and they don't want to do that. So I don't think Minnesota is going to be in a position to bring in another big ticket type guy. And correct me if I'm wrong, I think Stamkos is $8 million?
Yeah.
Or something along those lines. So, it's 8. Yeah. So Nashville, they don't want to eat anything on that deal. And they kind of made that clear earlier on in the season. Like New Jersey was poking around in November, which is where the Stamkos stuff really started to percolate. And they were told, no, Nashville has zero interest in retaining. We'll talk, but if you want us to eat on that deal, forget about it. So I just don't see that being a possibility. I think some of the other tradable candidates in Nashville, there's a chance that some of the other guys get moved. But by all indications, and Sammer said last week he doesn't want to waive his no trade, but he hasn't been presented with anything. So, nothing to consider. But at the same time, I don't think Nashville's going in that direction. And I think Minnie's probably going to focus on Trochek or maybe somebody else that fits the bill for them.
I like that. Troche's the fit.
Yeah, you just think Nashville, if they decide,
they're still in it too.
Yeah, and if they decide to ship them all out, then Fact Daddy and Stammer want to leave. If not, they love it there. Yeah. That's
for sure.
Yeah, and I haven't heard much on O'Reilly as well. Like I haven't heard much on him. I think it's the pending UFAs in Nashville, the Hollas, the McCarrons, the Bunting, and then Marchessault's the other one.
Fucking Bunting, eh? Yeah, Bunting's still. I mean, I gotta give that guy credit. He plays hard. I like to cross-check him right in the ribs, but he plays the game the right way. I gotta give him that. But
you're gonna go Ducks.
I'm gonna go Ducks here. Yeah, I'm gonna go Ducks here. I actually don't have any futures on the Duckies because they've been the surprise of the league, but they're right in their own backyard here. I got to give Pat Verbeek credit. He's built a hell of a forward group. There is holes on the back end here. Is that what they're going to try to do? And is there any chance my boy Weegsy Baby could be a Duck, or are they going after a D-man is what I'm saying?
Yeah, they're looking. They poked around on Myers. I think they've poked around on Ristolainen as well. They're looking at that, and I think they're also looking for a depth forward, maybe in the mid to bottom 6 as well. And Ryan Strom's name is out there. They have a ton of cap space, but that's gonna dry up relatively quickly when they give some of the kids some big contracts in the summer. Gauthier needs a new deal. Carlson needs a new deal. Zellweger needs a new deal. So that doesn't affect them now, but they're going to eat up a big chunk of their cap space moving forward, which is why Strom's name has kind of been popping up every now and again. But the back end's an area that they want to fill, and they're trying to see if they can bring in a top 4 guy for that lineup. You're mentioning Uyghur. It's I think there are a lot of teams that would love to get their hands on this guy.
Yeah,
and he's got a full no trade. There's supposed to be a conversation. Actually, I haven't checked in on this. I meant to do this already this week. I forgot. A lot going on, but they were supposed to have a conversation with Uyghur to see where he's at, where his head's at, and would he consider waiving anywhere. My indication from what I've gathered so far is that teams like Detroit and teams like Boston and Ottawa have checked in. I don't think he wants to go home yet. I don't think that Ottawa is a fit for him at this stage of his career. Detroit, Boston, maybe there might be some consideration there. I think it's top tier contenders for him right now. So I think if Dallas gets in the mix, if Tampa gets in the mix, then I think for him that's almost a no brainer to consider. Plus a little bit of cap, related, financial tax related factors in that one, a little beneficial on that regard for both of those markets. California, obviously a little different, but I think that would make him a little bit curious if the Ducks were to enter that mix.
Add the San Jose Sharks in there, Dave. Little insight.
The Sharks do. The Sharks, they're another team, and they're absolutely looking to shore up their blue line.
Yeah.
They only have a couple guys signed going into next season. Orlov's one of them. Dickinson's another. I think Mukamadula's an RFA, I believe. Everybody else is a pending UFA free agent. And they're listing on Liljegren. They're listing on Leddy, Klingberg, Ferraro, and Desharnais. But that's an area that they definitely want to improve on and bring in somebody with term or at least controllable on that back end that they can help grow with some of the guys they got going up front.
Yeah, I speak from 3 vets that, we played on a bunch of different teams. I would guarantee there's not a player in the league that wouldn't want to go play down there with that Macklin Celebrini. Oh, yeah. There's no chance. They got a good team. They're hunting in the playoffs. Will Smith, Misa, these guys, these young kids, to play with that kid and watch the growth there and have a chance to play alongside him. I mean, that's a green light to me.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think guys with term are absolutely going to consider, even veteran guys, because they're not, like, they're looking at young pieces on that back end, like Braden Schneider, somebody that's been on Mike Greer's radar for a while over in New York. But, they tried getting Dougie Hamilton in the summer. I could certainly see them looking at a Uyghur, Morgan Riley, those kind of pieces that have term on their deal. And those guys probably more summer type things. But I don't think it's going to be exclusive in terms of young defensemen that they're going to bring in. I think it's going to be a mix for them going into next season. But without question, it is becoming and has already become a very, very desirable market and team to be in with Celebrini leading the way with all the other kids.
Yeah. Sorry, Dave, just to go back to Anaheim for 1 second. Like, I think they have the best young prospect pool of D in the whole league. So you look at the division right now, they're second. That division is wide open. They're 1 point behind Vegas. They have, some of the best young, the centerman, Carlson, all these guys. I think the perfect trade scenario for them is getting rid of some of those Ds and going for it. You know what I mean? Like, if you look at, they have probably 9 D that they could play in the NHL at this point in their prospect pool. So I'm just looking at fits for that. I think Calgary would love some of those defensemen.
Yeah.
Do you think they're willing to get rid of some of those guys at this point?
Yeah, I think they would be. The issue with making that type of a move now is it's not exactly, I guess it's more of a buyer's market because you have so many different pieces available right now that making that type of trade might be a little bit complicated now just because everybody's kind of focused on some of the other guys that are available. It's not to say that we're not going to see some hockey trades over the next bit and the Thomas Kyrou stuff notwithstanding. But these other types of moves, those might be more geared towards the summer. And I don't think Anaheim wants to rush anything at this point. Like, I think they really like how they've transitioned, how they've been building this and how they're on this climb. And if an opportunity presents itself now, obviously, I mean, that's the tagline from every GM. If there's an opportunity to make us better now, we'll do it.
Yeah.
But barring something like that kind of falls into Verbeek's lap, I think that's something that they're going to explore seriously in the summer and utilize, like you're saying, some of those kids to package up to bring in some guys that are going to be there for a little while.
Yeah.
Dave, I got a few more for me, fella. I got to ask you about the Vegas Golden Knights for my boy Picky, Schmoods, and T-Rex. Listen, when I look at their team and when I watch them play, they just look really, really soft to me. Like, if they could add some toughness, like, to me, a guy like Coleman or even Lundberg out of Calgary. But what do you expect out of Vegas? It seems like every trade deadline, we're like, oh, they can't do anything. And then all of a sudden they make the biggest trade of the trade deadline. Can you see them doing something big, or what's your temperature on Vegas?
I think if they do anything, it's more depth type of acquisitions. I think they like a lot of what they've got. Now, I think there's still some curiosity as to what the heck's going on with William Karlsson and where he's going to be health-wise. But outside of that, I could certainly see them fishing kind of in that bottom 6 pool, bringing in some jam, like you were saying, whether it's a Lomberg, McCarron out of Nashville, thank you, even AJ Greer out of Florida, because the Panthers duck out teams that have Greer on their radar. Yeah, so like those are the caliber players that I wouldn't be shocked if Vegas adds, by Friday's deadline. I think they made their big move this season with Anderson. Now it's just a matter of kind of getting a little bit tougher, getting a little bit more responsible overall in their bottom six, and bringing in a vet who's been there before or who can carry the load in that regard.
And then I got to ask you, number one on the trade bait board all over the place, Nazem Kadri. I think it's going to happen. He finally wants out of Cowtown. I think he's played hard as a Flame, but there's some rumblings about the Avs. There's some rumblings about Montreal. I guess, what is your opinion, or once again, what are you feeling when you hear Kadri's name being bounced around?
Yeah. He let them know that he's open to a move. It's not a trade request or demand or anything. It's just, hey, I think we all understand where the direction of this team is. And if you find a deal, make it happen. And so they're looking, and teams have been calling. Some teams are still curious if they're going to retain, and he's got a $7 million cap hit for the next 3 seasons after this one. I think there's a little bit of an appetite for Calgary to retain. It's just going to depend on what the return is. Is it worth them eating $1 million or $2 million? If the right, if they're incentivized to do it with the right package, I think they'd look at it. I think Connie is going to look at that and see, does this make sense for us if for the next couple of years to eat this? But beyond that, yeah, there's the Habs have checked in before. Carolina's checked in. Colorado, as you mentioned, some people aren't sold on Colorado. Some people are, so it's unsure where that's going to go. But I mean, McFarland will figure that out, certainly, if he can make that reunion happen. But even Dallas and even Minnesota, like if Minnie doesn't win on Trochek, they're going to have to circle back with somebody. I think Kadri is on their target list, not plan A, because I think Trochek is. But I could see any of the 3 teams that are atop the Central get into this race, and then we'll see what other kind of teams as well. I know LA earlier on in the season kicked a little bit, but I mean they're in a tough spot right now, and they're trying to add another forward, certainly, at least another one with Kuzmenko now done for the season too. But we'll see kind of what happens there. But I think I'm looking at the Central Division. I think all 3 of those top teams are going to be aggressive. I think Utah is going to be pretty aggressive here as well. And then you look out east, and is it a Detroit, a Montreal, a Carolina that kind of get into that race for Kadri? I think there's a pretty good chance he gets moved, and I think there's a very good chance Coleman gets moved. So they're going to be active there in Alberta for sure.
Fucking Connie, better charge your phone and clear your voicemail this week, eh? Connie, make sure that phone is charged. Don't leave her on the nightstand and fall asleep with a glass of wine. Make sure she's charged in there.
Yeah, exactly.
David P., last
from the ringer all the way up.
Exactly. Last one for me, fella. I appreciate you taking the time. Pettersson in Vancouver here. This guy single-handedly...
Help yourself here.
This guy single-handedly took down the city that I used to... People talk about I was a fucking problem around there. I kept the economy growing, and I fucking kept the city humming. This guy's trying to take her down. Is there anyone... I've heard the Red Wings and maybe Carolina, maybe Rod the Bod could get him going, but Dave P., is there really teams with that much term? And I watched him play fucking last night against Dallas. My goodness. Is there really teams that want to take a chance on this guy?
There are teams that believe that get him the hell out of that environment, get to a new spot.
That's true.
And he can get back to 80, 90 points consistently per season. Like, there are teams that believe he can get there, but nobody's paying that price now. He's not an 80, 90 point guy now. Nobody's paying that price. And Vancouver's not eating on that 11.6 million AAV. They've, from what I've been told, made it clear they're not retaining on that contract. So if you want the player, you're taking him at full pop, which will lower the overall return that Vancouver gets if they move him. So whether it's a Detroit or a Carolina or LA or Seattle or another team, you're getting him at that full cap hit. And that's going to, as I said, that's going to affect the return. I think if Vancouver can get a legitimate prospect or NHL caliber player, ready caliber player, young kid, along with a couple other assets, decent ones, then I think they would be willing to pull the trigger on this. But clearly that hasn't come across their desk yet. And, there were teams that are saying, well, I like the player, but I don't want him at this money. And Canucks are just saying, well, tough shit. If you want him, you're taking him at the full. If otherwise, stop wasting our time. So that's kind of where they're at with PD right now. They're listing on everybody else. Garland, DeBrusk basically said he wants out yesterday.
I bet he does.
Doesn't want to rebuild. And yeah, he's every indication I've been given, he'll waive that no movement clause. But then you have others that are also generating. Drew O'Connor's got a lot of interest in him. Luger's probably going to be moved. Evander Kane's a plan D for a lot of teams. and they're willing to retain half on that because it's an expiring contract. So he's a prime candidate to be moved too. But with Petey, it's a tricky scenario, and I think they're less concerned with moving him potentially in division. Like I said, Seattle and LA could be two potential targets. I think they just want to get as big of a return as they can, get that contract off the books, and continue that rebuild process. That said, I would be surprised if it happens now.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck, Patrick. Good luck, fella. Eh?
No kidding.
Yep.
No kidding. All right, last one for me. I just want your prediction as the insider you are. Who's going to make the biggest splash during this free agent, or not free agent frenzy, the trade deadline day? Who's going to be the first one?
Yeah, predictions are always a pain.
I know you don't want that.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. Let's see. Biggest splash. I think Utah wants to, and I go back to the Islanders. I think the Islanders are trying to do something sneaky here.
I bet Darcy's got something up his sleeve, guaranteed.
Yeah, like I wouldn't be surprised if they make a big type of move here. Yeah, they already added Palat, they already had Susie, but I could definitely see them doing something big out of left field. We don't know what the hell's going on, and it just comes across, and you're going, "Holy shit!" Okay, that's like the Hurdle Vegas situation, like something along those lines wouldn't surprise me. And then, like I said, I think all three teams at the top of the Central are gonna make some noise here. So, but if I got to pick two, I'll say Utah in the West, and I'll say the Islanders in the East.
Yeah, and Darcy's got that Julian Breezeball DNA in him, man. And Tampa, every trade deadline, we're like, just fire away first round picks like they're fucking,
If he can
lunch tickets. There you go, fella.
If he can reenact what that guy did of just putting different pieces in place year after year after year after year, that pedigree worked. Wow.
And they have a deep cupboard. Like their draft last year was freaking phenomenal.
Yes,
they were unbelievable. Like pulling off that Dobson trade, but getting those, not just Heineman, but getting those 2 first-round picks that they got from the Habs. Both of them were home run picks, along with what else they have in the cupboard. They got a deep cupboard right now, and it wouldn't shock me if they either use a first-round pick or some of their prospects to try to hit a big home run here.
Yeah. Well, it's also time. Sorry, Obes. It's also time for Bill Armstrong, the Utah, to make a push here. They haven't been in the playoffs.
Come on, Bill.
Forever.
Come on, Bill.
Come on, Billy boy.
Come on, Billy. There with your chin and with your jawline and your fuck. Come on, Billy.
He's trying.
It's time. Yeah.
When you say cupboard, it just reminds me of Major League when he's like, "Hey Vaughn, your old mother covered," or he goes, "Hey Taylor, your old mother hovered, and only Vaughn's in the cupboard." David P, man,
we need another one of those.
I know, right? We sure do. They don't make them like that anymore, fella. Hey, listen, I know this is your busiest time of year. You're so great. That's the Missin Curfew. Thank you, my man, and try to get some sleep here in the next couple days. But I know it's a busy week for you, so thank you.
You got it, boys. The coffee is brewing. It's ready to go.
Yeah,
awesome.
Welcome back to Missin Curfew. Updog Richie fellow. Thanks to our boy, Missin Curfew Insider. Kind of a.
I think we got to make a T-shirt.
What's it called when you don't pay someone? An intern. Yeah. Is it an intern? Because frankly, we can't afford to pay Dave.
Oh, we can write you off.
How about this, Dave? Next time we're in Toronto, dinner on us, fella, because he is good to us.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, I wouldn't want that job. I mean, it's relentless. He keeps his eye on the whole league, not just the Toronto Maple Leafs. And this time of year, obviously, his phone is going crazy. But he's one of the best in the business. I like what he does. He's been good to us. So thanks for him coming on. It was good talk.
He approaches it, Obes and Rich, like a non sort of weaselly, like I need some info and what's going on. Like however these guys get their information, I'm sure it's all different. I'm sure some of them are poking the bears and some are just getting text like, hey, this is what's going on. Like, can you talk about it a little bit? Like, who knows? But yeah, but Dave's an absolute pro. He loves to have a good time. We would love to see. He's a guy when you see on the road you want to have a beer with.
Yep.
Says a lot about the guy. So I think we make a T-shirt, Missin Curfew Insider. We start by giving him one, and then maybe they start selling like crazy,
like hotcakes.
Yeah, they're like fuzzy hotcakes. All right, boys.
Like fucking like flapjacks. Say with some fucking warm butter on top there, some maple syrup, Rich.
Yeah, exactly. But it's always interesting to talk to those guys, like you said. Like I don't know where they get all their info from because we all know everyone in the NHL, and no one's telling me all this info. But it's just good to hear. I mean, there's a lot of action. It's a fun week in the hockey world. So I'm sure he's like you said, he's very busy, and his phone's ringing off the hook.
always a stressful week as a player, right? Even like if you're in a good situation and your team's good, you're like, fuck, I don't want to get traded. We got a good team here. We got to make the playoff here, win the cup. You're on a shitty team. You're like, fuck, are they going to move us? Or everyone's getting traded. It's and the human element for the listeners and the beauty fellows listening. This week is a stressful one for the boys. But at the end of the day, no matter where they trade you, they still got to pay you. Unless they buy you out, then you're fucked. Yeah. Then you're fucked. They just don't buy me out, man. Right?
Anything but that.
Yeah.
Fucking buy me out. Give me my dough.
You're like, how did you get that information? You got that? You're an insider. You telling me they're buying me out? Fuck. Okay. Back to the drawing board, boys. Let's have a pint.
Yeah. I remember Dan Murphy told me in my third year in Vancouver, he like, hey, heads up,
That's not one.
you're probably getting fucking waived. I said, yeah.
I said,
Yeah.
yeah.
He said, yeah.
I said, Murph, you know what it feels like that, bro. That was like when Alain Vigneault came up to me. He's like halfway through camp. He's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, great. Here I didn't even go out last night. What the fuck does this guy want? He's like, hey, I know, you veteran guys usually like to come into camp and kind of, warm up and, get ready for the start of the season, but you might want to take these exhibition games pretty seriously. And I was like, the fuck does that mean? Like, I know what it means, but so I'm done is what you're saying. He's like, well,
That's a nice confidence boost for you.
yeah, I called my agent right after that. I'm like, hey, start working the blower. So, anyways, next thing you know, I was on waivers. Thank you to David P. Richie Updog, always fun snapping around with you boys. Thank you to All Pass Media, Kyle, Casey, Conway, Max, the ice pick pickup. That was Missin Curfew, fellas.